Baby Wolves, La Donna Immobile. Hi guys, it's Ali Reza. In this video, we're going to be talking about all the technical difficulties that you may or may not have with this piece, La Donna Immobile. As you can see, it's a very short one. There's only 4 lines, and most of your notes are the same. So it's going to be pretty short. First thing that you have to notice is your time signature and your key signature. So as you remember, the first thing that you have to go over the piece before you start playing it is to look at your time signature and your key signature. In this case, you have one sharp, which stands for G major in major scales, and that sharp is F, which means it stays effective all the way to the end of the piece. So if you have any F sharps, regardless of low ones, high ones, middle ones, wherever they are, regardless of their position, you have to play that F as sharp, since the sharp is in the key signature and then it stays effective till the end of the piece. Your time signature, as you can see, is 3/4, which means 3 beats per measure, and the bottom number is 4, which means quarter notes get the beat. 4 stands for quarter notes. Top number is 3 quarter notes per each measure, 3 beats per each measure. The dots that are below and above the notes, as you can see, these dots, I circled them for you, they are called staccato. These ones are different than the ones that you would see on the right side of the notes, like this one here, like these ones. These are these dots add half the value of the note that they belong to back to the note. So if it's on a half note, they add half the value of a half note, which is a quarter, back to the half note. So half note plus half of it, which is half note plus a quarter note. But the dots that are under and above, those are staccatos, which changes the way that you play the notes. Regularly, like as you can see, the last quarter note of the piece doesn't have any dots, which is open G. You regularly would just play that for one full beat, 1, 2, 3, right? But the G before it, since that one is staccato, you play it. Theoretically, you play half of the value of the note. Staccato would mean, it depends on many different styles, many different composers, and it depends on what piece you play. But generally speaking, that means that you play half the value and you rest for the second half. So if your values are quarter notes and these are regular quarter notes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, then you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But again, it depends on many different things. In this case, you just play it regularly. So from the top, it would be, as you can see, it's very easy, simple. This one here, this F, as I already mentioned, that F sharp would be extended fourth on C string. So as you can see, regular fourth would be on blue, right here. That would be F natural on C string. Extended fourth would be the white. See? Now, if you cannot keep your first finger on yellow and extend, if your fingers are not long enough, it's okay, just feel free to shift up to the next tape. But keep in mind, after you're done playing that F sharp, you have to go one tape down. You have to go to normal position, right? But if you could, just lean for it, right? Lean for the white after blue, and that would be your F sharp. From the top, you play everything on a staccato, and then G, F sharp, right here, D, right? It keeps going, it repeats itself over and over again. Excuse me. And in many of your pieces, you're going to realize that there are sequences, which means there is a set of measures that repeat themselves. And if you go over and check to see how many of those measures you have, you can find a bunch of sequences that just repeat themselves, which adds up to how easy these pieces are for the most part as far as learning the notes. So you'll repeat a bunch of notes there, and then for C sharp, same idea as this note. Same fingerings and same tape, only on a different string. This is on C string, this is on G. So normal C would be blue, extended for C sharp would be white. But it's a dotted half note, so 1, 2, 3, 1, then D sharp would be low 1. Since open D is D natural, D sharp is the first tape on your fingerboard, which is white. That would be D sharp, and then you raise your hand all the way to. Now you could either do low first, but I would suggest just relax your hand since your fingers are not long enough. Just relax your wrist, relax your hand, and just slightly go back for D sharp on the tape. Then on the yellow for E natural. Then of course F sharp would be your third, not second. Second is F natural. F sharp is third, then fourth for G natural. And as you can see in the music, I've circled the 2. There are crescendos happening both times. So you do F crescendo to the next note, which is G, and that would be your fourth finger on A. Sorry, D. But this one has fermata on it. As you remember, we talked about this sign, half circle with a dot in the middle. That would mean that you hold the value for approximately twice as much, but again, it's one of those things that it depends. Well, since we're all doing it together, we have to end these notes at the same time. So if you have a conductor, you would follow your conductor. We would end this note together, but approximately 5 to 6 beats. Then you go back to playing staccatos. Don't forget, the last G is not a staccato. And dynamic overall, you start, let's say with, it's not marked, but you start with mezzo forte, and then it fairly stays the same. With your crescendos, you go to forte, and then with the second crescendo, you go to a little bit louder than forte. I don't want to say fortissimo, that would be a little too much, but it's adjustable. We can adjust it all together once we rehearse it. And the last note, again, is long notes. And you don't have to stop the string from ringing. If you just play it and let it go, it would decrescendo on its own. That's all I have to say about this piece, and have fun practicing.